G'day, it's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website kangaroocourtofaustralia.com. Now today, Tuesday the 6th of September 2022, the independent member for the federal seat of Goldstein, Zoe Daniel, has lodged a notice of motion with the Parliament requesting a judicial inquiry into media diversity. Now I don't think it goes far enough, but it's a good start. And the reality is it's sort of a Claytons Murdoch Royal Commission. A lot of people have been calling for a Royal Commission into the Murdoch media empire, and I suppose this is a backdoor way of having it. I'll read it out in full, and I'll put the 2 pages of the notice of motion up on the screen so you can pause it and read it yourself if you want to. Yeah, the first page says House of Representatives, notice of motion, member for Goldstein, which is Zoe Daniel. I give notice that on the next sitting day I shall move that the House notes that the Senate Environment and Communication References Committee, with the support of the Labor Senators, recommend to the 46th Parliament of the Commonwealth initiate a judicial inquiry with the powers of a Royal Commission to investigate the concentration of media ownership in Australia. And B, according to the Public Interest Journalism Initiative, 255 media outlets across the country closed down between the beginning of 2019 and March this year, nearly 70% of in regional Australia. The transfer of ownership of APN led to 112 local print newspapers being shut down. D, according to the Comprehensive International Study of International Media Ownership and Concentration by Columbia University, only Egypt and China have greater concentration of newspaper ownership of the countries studied. E, one company has 59% share of metropolitan and national print media by market readership, and the second 23%, that'd be News Corp, would be the first one with 59% of the market readership, and the second one would be Nine Entertainment, who own the Sydney Morning Herald and Age and Financial Review. F, 3,000 journalists had lost their jobs in the decade to 2018, with more since then. G, unlike the UK, there is no longer a fit and proper person Test and Broadcasting Services Act. Well, that's a waste of time anyhow, because Murdoch owns a lot of the papers in the UK and he's certainly no fit and proper person over there. Then H, the public interest test does not apply to cross-media mergers. Then number 2, you're calling on the House to support and call on the government to A, initiate a judicial inquiry with the powers of a Royal Commission to investigate and report on the state of media diversity in Australia, with the following powers: to call witnesses and require production of documents and information equal to those afforded the Royal Commission in the banking system. And number 2, to seek expert advice and make recommendations to broaden media diversity, especially in rural, regional and suburban Australia. Number 3, to seek expert advice and make recommendations on the state of self-regulation of media in generally available in Australia, in particular whether the Australian Press Council and the Australian Communications and Media Authority are fit for purpose. Then B, to commit to long-term and adequate funding of Australia's only independent newswire, Australian Associated Press. And C, to establish an independent and permanent trust to assist emerging news ventures, especially in regional Australia, including the funding of journalism traineeships. And D, to abide by independent process for appointment of boards of the ABC and SBS. Now that's a good start, especially by the community independents. It's been driven by Zoe Daniel and supported by at least a couple of other independents, I understand. But it doesn't go anywhere near far enough really, because there's nothing in there to talk about corruption within the Australian media industry. Corruption by Rupert Murdoch and his associated companies, corruption by Kerry Stokes and his associated companies, and corruption by Channel 9, specifically the chairman, Peter Costello, abusing his position. So I think corruption needs to be added to that, otherwise it's a very good start, and they should be congratulated, the independents, for driving it. It's a pity that Labor haven't driven, but hopefully they will support it. They've already knocked back a Royal Commission into Murdoch, which is fair enough. I think it comes across as being too biased. But this, I suppose, is a Claytons Royal Commission into the Murdochs, but with a more broader focus. The one thing I disagree with, they want to have adequate and long-term funding for AAP, Australian Associated Press. Well, if you Google my name, Shane Dowling, you'll come up with some articles, one on the Canberra Times and one on Channel 7's website even. saying that I'd been jailed. It's an AAP article which they picked up, saying blogger jailed again. Well, it's fake news. It's from 3rd of September 2021, last year. An arrest warrant was issued for me by a corrupt judge on behalf of Kerry Stokes' 7 West Media and 7 Network, which owns Channel 7. So AAP in that case have published fake news saying I've been jailed again. I hadn't. Here I am. I was sentenced to 10 months jail. They've done nothing to try and arrest me at this point. Maybe they will in the future, but if they do, I'll be fighting extradition on numerous grounds, including that I was denied a fair trial, and I'd be denied a fair trial again if I was extradited back to New South Wales, because I publish a judicial corruption website, and I've been naming and shaming many judges in the Supreme Court of New South Wales as being corrupt, and none of them ever denied it, by the way. But I think the point there is that Zoe Daniel was saying, oh, we should give long-term funding to them. Well, I don't know about that, especially when they publish a fake news story about me. And Channel 7, who instituted the proceedings for the contempt, for me to be jailed, for their arrest warrant to be issued against me, have published that fake news story saying I'd been jailed. I hadn't. So they're up to their neck in the lies, but that's another story. In relation to this, in relation to the judicial inquiry into media diversity, I think that's a very good thing. Australia's media has been contracting rapidly over the last few years, 5-10 years. And so we do need to have a look at that, but I think it needs to be brought into the corruption element within the media. Regular viewers and readers know I set up a Patreon account a few weeks ago to help fund the long-term reporting of this YouTube channel and my website and Facebook page and Twitter account, etc. So it's currently sitting on 128 Patreon supporters, committed to $954 a month. So if you could hit on the button there and help fund my endeavours long term, it'd be greatly appreciated. That way you're supporting independent journalism and you're helping shine a light on corruption. Other than that, please share this video on Facebook and Twitter, etc. And thank you for your time and have a good day.